The defended ego. I just heard this on a show. And it's just an example I've heard, there are many times I've heard something similar in the past. This is from my list of 365 useless behaviors. You say things like, he's a great guy, isn't he? He speaks very highly of you. I just heard that in a conversation with a high-ranking American official. What's the guy supposed to respond with? No, you're wrong. He's a dirtbag and I can't stand his guts. This is all lying, folks. All of it. You're stacking the deck so that this man's response cannot be honest. You're putting him on the spot. We all lie, all the time to create a good opinion of ourselves. It's so woven into the fabric of how we interact with each other and has more to do with saving face and looking good than it does with being honest. This sends a message that both parties don't really want to know the truth. You're putting someone against the wall by demanding a one-sided opinion and that they agree with you. It just goes to show how defended the ego truly is. What's it defended against? Speaking the truth, that's what. Knowing the truth about ourselves and how we truly feel about others. If you don't know how you truly feel, or how you truly feel about others, how are you going to set appropriate boundaries? Frankly, it's hilarious for me to watch people putting out videos claiming to want to put the truth forward for others to hear, but then they carry on with conversations that show how defended their egos are. Yeah, nobody's perfect, but we have to start being honest with ourselves. When we're honest with ourselves, we can be honest with others, and let's face it, this world needs more honesty. If it hadn't been for the dishonesty that so many are complicit of, the DS would never have gotten to the position they have us in now. Perhaps this person would have preferred to respond with, I don't make a point of talking about others who aren't present, but then knew that he was on camera and that he has to make a good impression of himself, so he played the game and responded with what the public would want him to say. He didn't put the host on the spot like he had just been. Why would you trust someone who plays games? How ironic. With honesty, deception doesn't happen, and if we want to change this world and stop this kind of thing from happening again, we're going to have to learn to be scrupulously honest with ourselves and others. We're going to have to stop being nice, for starters. Which is what this conversation is. It's a nice conversation with two people being nice to a third party. By the way, it's best not to mention others in conversation. Why talk about someone when they're not in the room? For many people, triangulation often goes south quickly and black magic happens when gossip starts. We spend our time not saying what we want to, and learning how to play games in conversation. Then we go home and complain to our spouses about what a lousy day we had at work. No wonder. Imagine how much better you'd feel if you could be honest all the time. It's our lying and deceptions that lower our frequency. Me, Ivo, what could be the ramifications for people who indulge in behaviors like this? Ivo, they do well at cocktail parties, my love. Me, LOL. Schmoozing. Absolute fakery. Ivo, in fact, your world is very defended against speaking the truth, my love. Very much so. You do not realize the tangled web you are living in, at least many do not, some are beginning to understand now. The truth is the only way forward. And it may not be to everyone's liking because it would be considered antisocial behavior. But truth is the only way. Me, I've told people straight out that I don't like them. Ivo, and perhaps this is a bit direct but nonetheless, I know you are a seeker of truth and light because you realize that that is your path to me and your path back to what you consider to be sane. It is. The insanity you are all living now is because of the web of lies that you all live. Me, I remember poor Kyle Rand, the young Pleiadian who Commander Zora sent to work with me in Dulce Base. For a few minutes every day Kyle Rand would be shocked and amazed at the way that I interacted with him. He thought it was crazy the way I would ask how he was when he'd only seen me the day before, and in light of the fact that the Pleiadian state of love they exist in really doesn't waver from day to day. I think he felt compassion for me. Ivo, it was an eye-opener for him, to be sure. He has never had direct exposure to any earthling and he finds you all highly illogical. Me, yes. You say one thing yet do another. We try to do things and the reason you try without accomplishing anything is our lack of power. I can think of all the diets I've been on and how it took willpower to accomplish any weight loss. I could do it. I was good at it. I don't even know why this example came up lol, but I'll go with it. Now that I look back at it, this dieting was a way for me to learn to use my own power. One time I even lost 30 pounds through creative visualization. I was reading Shakti Gawaine's book and spent time meditating to lose weight and it worked. Ivo, indeed. My love. This is part of your empowerment, and part of the process of empowerment for so many others, weight loss. However, you must understand that the reason you have a weight problem in the first place is that the foods you eat conspire to create that weight gain within your bodies. You are in fact fighting the system which is overtaking your body. We got off topic again. Oh well. The topic is that we like to create a good opinion of ourselves. So that must mean we care more about what others think about us than we do ourselves, because if we cared about ourselves, we wouldn't lie. Ivo, exactly. Lying reduces your frequency. The truth raises it. Look through examples of how you interact daily with others, particularly in false environments such as the workplace. I can't think of how many times I said hello to the CFO when I was really thinking the company was a bunch of money-sucking chiselers that should pay me more. Ivo, your world is noted for its cheap labor. I'll bet. But you smile at CFO, the CEO etc., so you can keep your job because you have to pay bills. Talk about insincerity. And that's the defended ego at work. You smile and say hello to your neighbors when in fact you really want to tell them to keep their music down at night time so you can sleep. But you don't want to create a fuss, so you say nothing. You want to appear to be Mrs. Nice Lady rather than being honest and perhaps working out a compromise with your neighbors. I've stopped doing that. I can honestly say there is only a few neighbors around here I haven't had words with. I've asserted myself with most of them and they hate my guts. So be it. I don't care about being disliked. I care about Ivo and Ivo is on the truth timeline for me. So I speak my truth. I don't let anyone take advantage of me because in the end I know I will lose face with the most important person, myself. So I speak up. If people start having a fake conversation about the weather, for example, complaining about the snow or something, I try to find something positive in it. That just makes summer all the more enjoyable. Have a nice day. Then I leave. If some stranger starts a conversation with me and it's a complaint like I used to get the bus stops all the time and man I love my car. Boy do I ever. If a stranger complains to me, I'll probably look at them and turn away and not say anything. Misery enjoys company but I just don't make time for others' crap. They can fester in it themselves. I'm being honest by sending a message that I don't make time for conversations like that and I don't enjoy them. I'm not saving face because the next time that person sees me, they'll talk me down to their friends. That's their choice. They could learn a lesson and start to understand that there's a better way to live. I met this one person who wanted to be friends. So I went over to their house and they spent about 2 or 3 hours obsessing about their ex. They got a Dear John letter. Sorry. No time for that. There's more to me than a pair of ears. I'm being honest. If they're hurt maybe they need to look at that. I'm not going to keep visiting them just to look nice and save face. Life is too short for that. Had I been that man in that interview I was referring to, I might have said something with a smile on my face like, "What do you expect me to say?" I would have called him on his game, but then, that's the problem with the defended ego, we won't get back on his show anymore if we embarrass the host with that level of honesty. Yet, in fact, the viewers are looking for honesty from the guest. Turns out they didn't get that either, because I could tell he was lying. But in this case he was lying out of a need to do so, not out of whimsy. He wasn't able to divulge the truth. Ivo, Earth has a long way to go, my love. Absolute honesty is the only way forward. Me, yes. And being around people who don't even realize how badly they're lying makes me crazy. Ivo, send them love, my dear. Me, I know. I just want to put the message out to people that if you want to catch yourself lying, watch when you're interacting with particularly strangers, when you're socializing and when you're being nice. Be careful of being nice. You're trying to act in an acceptable way and this is the defended ego. You're trying to create an impression of being a great person when in fact you're just like the rest of us, you've got your baggage. We all do. If we'd all acknowledge that rather than trying to hide it, we could drop with this social stigma of appearing to be nonconformist. You don't have to come across to someone right off the bat by declaring your diagnosis, although I've known people who have done so, but you can be more honest up front. Not revealing your truth if you even know it, is a question of fear. And this is a time for all to have courage. You have to understand the defended ego is trying to keep you from developing intimacy with others. So we lie to look good, but to keep ourselves separate from others. I have dispensed with a lot of that. If I hadn't, these videos wouldn't be out all over the internet. Many people know me who are absolute strangers. They also know I have many boundaries and expectations of how I expect to be treated. It works. You can still find friends that way. Ivo, my love, you have done well. You are a beacon of truth for this planet. Me, thank you Ivo. Ivo, I love you.